Okay. Okay. I welcome all for the great knowledge sharing session. We're going to have a very interesting topic for Hyderabad chapter, specifically for Hyderabad chapter. There are many people requesting for a speaker from specifically on the construction industry, on the construction project management. And we are lucky enough today to hear from one of our chapter member who has been very kind enough to share all his experiences with respect to the construction domain. Okay, so without further delay, thanks everyone again for joining on Saturday evening. So let's get started. There are a couple of ground rules we have. Take advantage of networking opportunity using chat window. I was asking you to share your details and share your LinkedIn credentials so that the people can join with you and then know each other from all aspects of this particular interesting things about you and yourself. And during the session, whenever you feel like there is a question coming on your mind, please post all your questions in Q&A. At the bottom of your screen, you can see there is a button called Q&A where you can just start questioning about whatever kind of interesting questions you have. Whether it's a question, whether you have a small point you wanted to get clarified from the speaker, you can put there. At end of the session, we'll be answering each and every question from the chat window or the Q&A. And finally, the very important one, for all the PMI credential holders, PDUs will be auto-credited. I wanted to emphasize on one thing. While you are registering, if you have given any ID, PMI, instead of PMI ID, if you have typed anything wrong, somebody is typing the PMP credential ID, somebody is giving the wrong ID. So check yourself once again what ID you have given. Just immediately after the session, send a mail to me at events@pmi-pcc.org. I'll be crediting your PDUs automatically into your account. So correct, the very important point is providing the correct PMI membership ID. All right. Then this is the session that we are going to start now. So thank you so much, Ganesh, taking your time and presenting a very interesting topic called effective project management in large-scale construction project. And
it's my pleasure.
I would like to introduce speaker Mr. Ganesh to all the audience before I hand over the presentation or the topic today is to Ganesh. Here is about Ganesh. Ganesh is a construction project management professional with 13 years of global experience in large scale construction projects consisting of airports, high-rise buildings, and mixed-use developments in various regions like North Africa, Gulf, Central Asia, now also in Asia, specifically in India, but not only in India, he is very close to us, he is in Hyderabad. He has taken a managerial role at ENR top-ranked projects and construction management companies. He is basically a civil engineer holding 2 master degrees in construction management and project management. He also has studied advanced diploma in the field of construction management. He has been a PMI
contract management
2017 and he got his PMP certification in 2019, I think just before the pandemic. Okay. Yeah. The last and very interesting line about Ganesh is he is now leading many large-scale real estate and commercial developments in Hyderabad. I'm not sure whether he can share where he's working on and all. Otherwise, you can connect with him through LinkedIn so that you can understand where he is working and what he's working on. And that's about Ganesh. Welcome again, Ganesh. And now stage is all yours. You can go ahead and then start with our presentation. I'll stop sharing. You can take up the sharing.
Of course. All right. Thank you. Now I will just start sharing my screen. Okay. So please let me know if it's clear.
Yeah,
Let me
yeah,
put full screen.
it is. It is. Yeah.
So first of all, I'm very pleased and honored to be here. Special thanks to PMI City Hyderabad session for their kind invitation and their cooperation from beginning to this webinar. And I would like to special thanks to all attendees because this Saturday, spending time with me here on their valuable time for the weekend, it's a really great pleasure for me. It's a great honor. So with this said, of course, I will try to exchange as much information as possible within the timeline. But please feel free to connect with me on the LinkedIn. And you can get my details also from the PMI. After the webinar, I can drop off my details. So I'm extremely open and enthusiastic to exchange information, knowledge sharing. So sharing my experience and knowledge and learning from the others. So it's always my motivation factor. So it's not limited to this webinar. And if it's not enough, we can also do another sessions, I hope, with PMI and others. So yeah, as you said, I'm now in Hyderabad. I'm pleased to be here. It's a very welcoming, extremely warm people. So we are extremely happy with my family here in Hyderabad. So again, thanks to all people in my company and the clients for that level of welcoming for me and all the colleagues network. It's amazing. So yeah, I am at PMO Phoenix Turner. So we are managing the major real estate and commercial developments here in Hyderabad, and I'm leading some specific large-scale developments. So, but today, more than the companies, let's say, the brands or just the tools names and all, even including more than, I don't want to just set my agenda for my also own profile. So today's session will be effective project management in large-scale construction projects. So it is going to be focusing on the agenda, project life cycle, importance of initiation and planning. So it is going to be the focus area. So Power BI, BIM, and other useful tools in project management, how we really implement. I try to put maximum extent with the content to the presentation for exchanging the information and show real case studies and execution processes here. Presenting real project examples almost in every slide. It is real project examples are there, but for the confidentiality and to have the session more, the free discussion, let's say. So because it will be recorded, it will be published. That's why I customized, modified with my team, majority of the slides and all the examples to this session specific, so for this webinar. So that's what all the examples, but I can proudly say all these tools, technologies in our day-to-day project management, construction project management operations, we are also using in our projects in Hyderabad. But all the examples will be presented, will be customized and modified only for this webinar purpose. That's why I am very free to share. There is no any concern about the confidentiality. And all the information's name, everything provided is just modified for this webinar. And of course, all the discussion will be frameworking and it will be focusing on the value of project management. So I think I can start now, right? We can continue. So
yes, we can continue. We can continue.
Okay. Just want to ensure if it's everything clear, audible, and the presentation.
Go ahead.
Okay, that's great. So let's start first our topic today. So project management, I always prefer to use references and recognized bodies. All the information always also including some citations and the reference. So of course, PMI, Project Management Institute, leading organization, US-based, and all over the world for the project management, defines project management as project management is the use of specific knowledge, skills, tools, and techniques to deliver something of value to the people. It really affected me. So what we are doing, something to deliver something of value to the people. And another association, again, worldwide recognized UK-based association for project management, also defines very similar, saying that project management is the application of processes, methods, skills, knowledge, and experience to achieve specific project objectives according to the project acceptance criteria within agreed parameters. So it is the full, as you see, the common things are the knowledge, skills, tools, techniques to deliver something of value to people to achieve the project, specific project objectives. So we have a project construction life cycle, which can be implemented in any industry, right? It's like a process flow, phase by phase, how we start the projects and how we end up and deliver to end user. So initiation phase, planning phase, implementation and execution, of course, and performance and monitoring through the execution and all the phases, and closing, delivering the project, meeting the requirements to the end user. What I would like to highlight in my presentation, let's say, is the first two phases, initiation and planning. So we see a big still lacking of attention, so lack of concentration, lack of team involvement on these two processes actually, which will lead to successful execution and delivery. So just to recall, what are the things we are managing at initiation and planning? Project charter and business case, stakeholder identification analysis, with whom we will be moving this project journey, right? It's extremely essential to deliver. Feasibility study of the project, requirements, scope, cost plan, our budget planning, right? Procurement strategies, tendering strategies, design development from concept to the level of maybe good for construction drawing, to the level of the IFCs issued for construction, GFCs or IFCs. Our delivery methods, contract types, what type of contracts, it's extremely crucial. So team assembly, our team, the key players to make it happen, to achieve this, the game, to deliver successfully, schedule, it should be also integrated. So, and risk and many others. So what is the main concern here is just, we shall ensure, as in the project management, the team involvement, collaboration, and buy-in at initiation and planning phase. We have to spend weeks, if needed months. We have to bring all this together, and we have to work together to execute our projects rather than extinguishing the fire and jumping on the issues day-to-day basis. So we have to focus on initiation and planning phase. Clear understanding of project objectives, scope, requirements, risks, it's extremely essential. So you have to know your project objectives, the team, the key team members, all stakeholders, not only the delivery team, right? Not only the project team, all stakeholders. So we will go through this in the next following slides. Evaluation of all management plans, your quality management plans, right? Safety management plan, cost management plan, project contract documents prior to execution. So it shall be comprehensive evaluation of all management, because as per this plan, as per this framework, you are going to execute. If you don't set it right at the beginning, it's a big waste throughout your projects. And unfortunately, rather than foreseeing and executing smoothly, so all projects ends up with day-to-day fire extinguishing mode and from one issue to another jumping. It's not an effective way. And of course, so the main point here is maximum effort, effective stakeholder collaboration, and in-depth evaluation at pre-construction stage will lead to successful execution and delivery. So that's why I want to start with my first slide, focusing on initiation and the planning phase. So many projects are suffering because of not paying enough time. So just driven by some senior executive manager fixing or copy-paste type of contracts, copy-paste type of management plans, not tailored to the project specific needs, without proper response to the metrics. Then throughout the execution, and unfortunately at the closeouts, a lot of projects are ending up with cost overrun, schedule overrun, sometimes failure completely. So that are the points we have to pay attention, right? So for project management, it's an integration. So integrated project management, of course, using the advantage of digital tools transformation, but is extremely essential. So I will just list in here, please. There are hundreds on hundreds of the tools. So you can identify your requirements and of course select the most appropriate tool. But which are the tools I'm familiar to and I have effectively used in my projects and we are still effectively using, just also for the attendees who are not exactly in the construction or large-scale construction industry, let's say. I said we have construction project management tools like Procore, Synchro, Zeft, and many others. We have construction scheduling tools like Primavera, MS Projects, and many others, Synchro scheduling, so many others. We have documentation and communication management tool like Aconex, Autodesk Documents, and many others. BIM tools, so Revit, Excel, Synchro, BIM 360s, ACC, Navisworks, Tekla, and so many others. Data modeling and visualization tool. So for instance, in this example, if you can see the slides, yeah, it's like of modified information, but it's showing the integration of the data from many different knowledge areas with PMI terminology. So our disciplines and departments to deliver the projects, we are integrating and data collection analysis tool, visualization tool. For instance, this example showing here by using Power BI and many others, okay? So just to make it more visible, we are also effectively using it in Hyderabad in our projects, and before here also in my previous companies we have used this. Just to show you, let me click on the link. So can you see the screen now? Just to be sure. Hello? Hi, Praveen, are you there?
I am there. I can see your
Yes,
screen.
so yeah, okay, just to ensure that I click on the link, this is the link. Even if I copy and paste your WhatsApp, yes, if I copy and paste your WhatsApp now, you will also be able to open it. All the data you will be accessing by clicking on one link. So our purpose here, while doing it advanced and integrated interactive project management, we have so many deliverables, so many departments to manage. And following up hundreds of the emails, following up thousands of the phone calls, WhatsApp messages, photos to manage a project, to deliver it, align all stakeholders, extremely difficult and not effective way. It's causing so many wastes, right? So for instance, in Nislik, like a project information, you are seeing the overall schedule here, and you see, you can put the key details like build up areas, how many floors and how many the basement floors you have here for your project information, your budgets to your project specific. So if you go back to here, for instance, this is a sample Primavera project scheduling tool integration with the Power BI. Actually, in average of more than 200 pages, you will find with thousands of activities in large-scale construction projects. If you just convert it to, as an example, the bookmark in the PDF or others, or Excel, it will be hundreds of the pages. So imagine the difficulty. Imagine if you are not also experts understanding the activities, work breakdown structure, so the key discipline and the packages, the link in that, you have to maybe spend days and weeks only to understand and avoid the schedule. So we have integrated all our data with the baseline. This shows the baseline. And with the actual site updates, as an example here, we have just tried to show. For instance, facade package manager just would like to get information. He's having the meeting with his contractor. Just clicking the facade and not start the progress. These thousands of data is just pulled in and it's saying that, look, let's screen, not yet started. So you're in a variation from the baseline is around 100 plus days. What's wrong? And you want, I as a manager of the projects, so okay, I would like to see, okay, I'm interested in critical activities in the MEP package, which drives the critical path, and it's really effective, essential for me to identify an action on these to avoid the further delays and even mitigate the delays with the recovery program. So automatically I filter here. I can see my planned percentage, actual percentage from the site data, of course. So with my baseline informations and all. So we can see here the actual and the planned variables with all the data. So everything is interactive. It's completely integrated. So that is just, I think you are clear now. I will not go, I will not take a lot of time because every topic actually can take weeks and the months to discuss in depth, but I will just show briefly many other features. Like you have issues, right? Issues log is also integrated in the same link. You can open even on your mobile, you can filter the data in here, anything. For instance, our ongoing projects, we have around the approximately 20 worksheets. So procurement, design trackers, so RFIs, change logs, and everything in this manner. So I am discussing with John. The names also just random tentative names. So for this again specific webinar. So okay, John, which are the issues is open with you? So look, the required date was 21st of June. We are already in November. So what's happening? Or it shouldn't be actually. It's updated mostly weekly. Depends on the scale of the projects. We update bi-weekly, but of course it's a tracking of all the process and regular updates are needed here. So again, if you are back, maybe change log, the same, all the change log, which are the open changes. You are just filtering here, open changes. And with the GM, all right, these are pending with the GM, general manager, for instance, this is with me. So I have to focus on this, the clause. Who is the initiator? And normally we put all the activities like with smart logic, like specific, measurable action, and of course, realistic and the time-based. So we are tracking each and every process. So including safety. So one person, even S-curve, yes, we can integrate very high level. In my ongoing and previous project, we have extremely also detailed S-curves for different packages and activities. But yes, so for instance, the S-curve overall, just the representation of the data, normally as on date, let's say 8 June 21, so plan was 57.53%. And actual is 52%. So we are like 5% behind our target. So we have to put immediate recovery plan and we have to bring back project to the track to deliver on time, right? But safety, very essential point. Normally there are safety observation reports, WhatsApp photos, and many other things. So instead, again, these reports integrated here for the managing the projects. So you just have a safety meeting, collect those contractors, or you are on site. You want to see that specifically, is it actioned or not? For the open issues, yes. All the data with the images necessary here integrated. So then goes and it goes, of course, we have tailored it to the main parameters to see floor plans for us. We have most of the plans of the floors is in many different docs. Sometimes it's in the server, it is in the AutoCAD, so it can be interactive also. You can put we are putting all our floor plans. If it is level 1, if you are going there, yes, you can see it. Even I will present you some other cases that it will be linked with the BIM 3Ds and level 2. So I think this is enough for understanding of integrated project management and some kind of digital tools advantage to manage your projects. For instance, this was specific to all Excel trackers, images, Primavera scheduling tools, your different reports, different processes, integration in the Power BI. The tools might change, but you can, if you have the ability to manage, if you have an understanding of the overall process of the project and stakeholders and how to tailor the tools to your needs, tools might change, but yes, you can take significant advantage of the data, right? But I would like to, I think the last statement for this slide is analyzing your project needs and expectations with your capabilities, with your realities, considering integration between these tools also. So many tools can integrate and you can move step by step to your destination. It's extremely essential while planning. Most of the companies having the mistake or they're having some misunderstanding that, oh, okay, I will just bring this BIM model as an example. Let's open it so in these slides, and it's going to be resolving my problem. So I will be just putting this tool, one specialist company, and I will deliver my projects with some copy-paste plans and execution plans, so which is again leading so many confusion, and it's causing a lot of issues. For instance, again, so these are just to this level of detailing for complete details to the level of details of 400, 500. It depends, of course, your objectives, but it can be integrated in the BIM. For instance, this is just a little bit customized for this presentation. We integrated for this specific slide. Let me put the laser. This specific slide, all the floors integrated with the BIM model. Whichever you click on there, you can just access immediately information. And we are effectively also using this in Phoenix projects. So in Hyderabad, and previously have used also. So, okay, all the systems, mechanical, electrical, to the level of your fire alarm systems, every single detail you can integrate, put into the model. Yes, it can be successful design coordination, clash detection, interface coordinations, GFC shop drawings as built, but I put some specific red marks if you realize into the specification, presentation. Okay, the BIM execution plan, specific to the project. What are the clear scope, roles, and responsibilities? How is the process flow from developing to the BIM, delivering to the site, taking the changes from the site to the back to the BIM? So this is a main area that all managers and all the industry experts should focus. So team training. So we mostly have few individuals in the stakeholders, unfortunately, especially the large scale stakeholders like some specialist companies, consultants, clients. But this is not structured. The team not trained who will deliver the project on site, who are day-to-day basis managing the projects. So continuous training, giving them ability to operate in the BIM, to reflect and put their issues into the BIM and address the changes through it. So we have to focus not only the contractors also, to the subcontractors, to our charge hand on site. So we have to develop and grow together. The change management, as I said, many of the BIM executions in all over the world, in many different regions, both in my projects or my networks or some of the consultants or virtual support we have provided, I observed a significant shortfall here. So facility management, yes, as-builds, yeah, we can integrate it. We can also have our as-builds put into the BIM. We can put all the material, technical specifications, and actual data on it. It's the information modeling. You load with the information into this model. So it's a great value. But as I said, the BIM, just putting one tool and two individuals to the projects will not help. So following slides will show further details, but I think this gives some insight on the BIM, some visualization also on the tools and main areas of concern and areas of improvements that we have to focus. So another, like, of course, the technology is very important. So we are also effectively using like scanning of the building with 360 camera, like point cloud models. Even virtually, you can visit your construction sites, right? So we, for instance, recently in Hyderabad, we effectively scanned our mechanical electrical rooms, the main, the as-built conditions before closure of the ceiling of the roofs. So of course, it depends on your needs, but the technology is there for you to utilize. And if you do some key searches, I just put some notes here. All the slides have some notes, some tools information, because I think this will be recorded and shared. I believe even some words, some terminology can add great value to one individual. So that individual also extremely important for me if we can, touching the live, exchanging the information. That is why if you just search like virtual tour construction, as-built recording with 3D scanning, integration of real recording BIM, interactive reporting, point cloud scan to BIM, you will find, but just to show you the example. So let's go to the model. This is a Matterport, but there are other tools, a lot of different tools. Yeah, I just picked this because it's, I think, from the website, it shouldn't be a problem for recording. Yeah, the same we have used, as I told you, in the real projects, same method with our stakeholders, of course, a team effort with our stakeholders, and to scan our building. Yeah, you see, this is my building. Okay, this is my maybe one room, depends on in the large scale project. So let's take some as-built measurements, approximately what the guys have done. Some projects, even when I was not on that region or my colleagues, we were really inspecting the building with this technology. So I was based in Central Asia. There was maybe some projects in the Gulf. So we were getting there and inspecting the building with this technology. Okay, so it's around 16.6 meter. So let's get closer. Yeah. So we can get closer here. Even you can inspect the quality is extremely high. And this can be also the many tools can be integrated in the BIM. So as per my drawing, let's say in the office, let me put full screen. So here, let's see, is it matching with the drawings or not? Okay, from here, okay, it's not bad. So let's say, assume that it's 35 centimeter. Here is 33, so plus minus 2 centimeter, maybe we can accept. So this integration between these tools, so a lot of things with the BIM, so it is there. So just you see the quality, you can take the measurements, you can see completely 360 your buildings, and even do the precise as-built inspection by taking the measurements. There are many more other, the tools more advanced, like points. You can take XYZ coordinates exactly. You can do this point data to put into your BIM and also integrate in the system. So I think this is another things we are trying our best and improve ourselves day-to-day basis. So that is the another example I wanted to share with all our attendees. Let's move back. Yeah, we say that the integration is extremely essential to deliver the project. This is one example we have developed with our team, with all stakeholders, of course, especially with an effort from the construction side, with the planning departments. So this is 300, approximately 10 points, the 8 meter, 310 meter plus above ground, one of the tallest building in the Central Asia in my previous projects. So I would like to present you, this is the BIM. What is the difference here? Let me put the laser pointer again. So here you can see, okay, yes, we have the GFCs, we have the permanent structure, right? The core wall, the perimeter, external slabs, composite slab, windscreen. But in here, we have integrated in the 3D model with our schedule, with main discipline, including the temporary but extremely essential elements in the especially high-rise buildings and large-scale constructions. For instance, windscreen, if you see here attached. Hoist, yeah, it's extremely essential. Vertical traffic analysis. That is the only thing you can carry out your people and carry your people and materials, right? So I think in the PMI introduction session, there was a high interest in the high-rise buildings and the agile system, how to do 5-6 floors a month from the other industries like IT. I think one of our colleagues, one of our friends from the PMI was asking. Yeah, this is for its automatic climb form system. Also, in our projects here in India, so from the Phoenix side and the Turner sides being effectively used, all the advanced construction technologies. So you see my laughing self-climbing cranes all over here. So just to give more insights and more in-depth understanding what we have done, all the permanent structure from to main elements of execution throughout the structural and facade completion with logistical and the main components, including the placing, concrete boom, cranes and all. I will just showcase the just 1 minute video, please. So yeah, here, yeah, our climb form system is getting up and we have some composite elements. You see a lot of interfaces here with some specific outrigger floor, which in the high rises, it's very complex floors. These are with some high strength SAS bars, a lot of complexities and all. Maybe the information you see here is thousands of pages, hundreds of pages schedule, complete elements, maybe in thousands of drawings, including the temporary works drawing, like your client form system. As you see here, yes, the building geometry changes. There are a lot of factors, a lot of details here, and details makes extreme difference for successful delivery of the projects. And of course, the integrated project management and digital tools help a lot to coordinate all your disciplines, coordinate all your stakeholders, and drive the execution to the success. So if you see here, just the uppermost floors, the cranes are jumping, placing boom is jumping together with the system. Yeah, we start dismantling our client form system from the core wall, and we are coming closer to the uppermost floor with our external perimeter slabs, right? The composite decking slabs. And here, I'll just stop in here because this execution and this challenging project also was recognized and acknowledged by the National Geographic, which will follow in the following slides. Here, even as per the method statement and complete technical details, it's up to 300 plus meters heights. You have to do this we had to do this complex truss, massive structure with a span of maybe 42 meters, if I'm not wrong. So with the mobile crane, which was later on erected to our sites. So here also we modeled it and we simulated it to all our teams. Then we removed our crane, tower crane, we start zipping up the building of the facades. Yeah, this is a 4D simulation that I wanted to share. I hope it will be beneficial for all. So if you have realized that, yeah, that was a structure which I have stopped the video and showed you. Let me see. Yeah. So also use the Tekla model to put all the details of structural elements. As you can see, this should be erected to uppermost part, the crown roof of the building. So the problem statement was, it's a massive element, and you have an as-built condition, as you say, as you see in the visualization. It is sitting on the top of the core wall and it's sitting on the top of your perimeter structure, you know, the column. So there are as-built conditions at the height of 300 meters. The project is in Central Asia, one of the coldest places, and the fabrication is in the Gulf in Dubai, right? So we said any mistake throughout the execution, it's a trust system. One element, let me put again the laser here. If one element doesn't match, this is a massive circular hollow sections, I think 600 mm up to 900 mm dia structural end plate connections. So we said, okay, let's put the lean construction methods, coordinate with all the stakeholders from the contractor, subcontractors, erection team, suppliers, manufacturing team. So, and the BIM tools or advanced technologies, expertise, we have gone through extremely detailed level of workshops, right? So we said, all of us, we said, yes, we will put a material traceable the metrics. We will link our complete fabrication based on the assembly, but not only assembly in the construction side on the top of the building. We are gonna do upside down pre-assembly in the factory, adjust everything based on the data, precise as-built data taken from the site on the uppermost level of the concretes. We will be making again joint survey with all the team. Even I personally went there 2 times in the contractor, the quality departments, consultants, and all to inspect, including there was ACP, you know, the composite cladding here, and all as you see here. We have done a complete pre-assembly of the structure in there. And we have material traceable the metrics and all structured in a way that every single element is transported from the Gulf to Central Asia was linked as per the erection sequence method statement, as you have seen in the visualization. So this was some extreme photos. It was so much enjoyed, so much proud, and appreciate all efforts also from all the stakeholders, right? So without having any single joint, major issues, major rectification, the erection was completed. And just to give a reference, it was, and fill you the large scale construction a little bit, because I believe we have attendees from different also industries. It was recognized by the National Geographic, these constructions, published in National Geographic Kazakhstan and also Azerbaijan. And this was an extreme engineering, extreme project management skills and all. This is me, myself, presenting the building, and we were closely working with the National Geographic team. with all our team members. So you can see a little bit the feeling of the construction and large scale projects, putting all the safety measures without any lost time injury. So everybody is coming to the project shall go to the site in a safe manner, go back to return to their families. It's extremely essential. So like facade installation, some wheel from the tower cranes. So which was shown in the 4D simulation, right? Then presented some real case example with a successful execution, let's say. That's also this, which is a result of really the training, putting everything, single team members on boards, having them and hours and days of the meeting, checking perfectly, being on site. So physically seeing the challenges, putting the measures, how we can get it done. So after working in these complex projects, large scale constructions, and all, of course, in academic also study, it's extremely essential for our personal development and contribution to the people we are working with. So I said, I must complete my project management master in a field that I'm working in, which adds value to me, and also in a manner that it will be also contributing to the industry I'm working for. It should be like practical also, not only like scientific side. So I decided to complete my research and perform my assessment of risk factor to minimize delays and cost overruns in high-rise building projects in the CIS region. But actually, large-scale projects, majority of the factors, of course, there are a lot of variables. But so this was recognized and acknowledged by one of the, again, leading organization, global leading organization for the tall buildings, for the high-rise building, which is Council on Tall Buildings on Urban Habitats. And in 2020, issue 3, my research project is an article in the journal. So it was published. So the reference is that one, which I will be presenting, of course. So the main point was in the project management. If you are working for the risk, if you foresee the risk, yes, it can be eliminating so many issues throughout the execution. So I said, I can work all the parameters for if I work on the risk. So it was a question, how to identify the risk in construction industry, how to measure risk, which method technique to choose. But the main advantage of this body is, right, it is not like you get the PMP, you are a project manager, or you get another certificate, you are the senior manager. The things, it gives you the framework, how to measure risk. Yes, it's a question good. How to rise the, for instance, RFI process, or how to register an issue. Everybody can come up with different idea. But when you have a framework, when you have a knowledge of the different methods, different globally recognized, verified methods by the experts and the recognized accredited bodies, is a big advantage, both for management and for company growth and, of course, individual growth. So the method followed there was risk. Let me put the laser again. Risk identification is the essential part. How? So if you ask how the risks were identified, 72, if I am not remembering wrong, and also I'm very pleased to share this article who are willing to take more information, and also my research project, full research project for our attendees. Risk identification, yeah, it was all 72 high-rise experience from the globally, let's say, global companies, the leading, from the pioneer projects participated. I have developed a specific matrix. I think the program I used for the research was Survey Gizmo. It's a matrix for impact, probability, and impact analysis. So risk analysis was the probability and impact analysis. Impact on cost and impact on schedule was separately analyzed in there. So risk response and implementation, and risk monitoring and comparison. It's like a risk management processes. Also, I think one of the knowledge area is, you know, in the PMI as well. So risk avoidance, risk acceptance, transfer, risk mitigation. These are some methods how you develop the risk response, because some risk you have to accept, you cannot avoid it, right? For instance, but you can take mitigation measures. Some risk you need to transfer to the insurance companies. You can mitigate by taking some examples. So the research steps were identifying and appraising measures that cause delay and cost overrun. So the identifying comes from the experts in the industry. We given a text as a paragraph, also the option in the survey, they can put their response measurements, right? This is response plans also. So also so much research, peer-reviewed articles I've analyzed there from many different regions. I can maybe more than 50 peer-reviewed articles and different research in this industry. So then filtered, of course, data. What are the most common and measures with our experience there, practical side there, and academic side there to make it visible. Analyzing the risk using the probability and impact method and ranking them, because risk ranking is essential to focus on what are your major risks and say live process. It might change. So this month, major risk can go to the minor, ranking can go if you mitigated them, then another risk. So it's a live, that's why every process needs controlling and monitoring. Developing risk response plans for the highest ranking risk and investigating the relationship among the critical risk factors and other variables. For instance, the risk is the same from the client side and subcontractor side, or is it the same risk factors from the participants and also as a result of course, a lot of scientific analysis there. For Russia, high-rise buildings constructed in Kazakhstan or constructed in Azerbaijan. So these are just, I will not go through one by one. I think this will be recorded so everybody who are interested in taking more information, but in 4 different categories like technical risk, management risks, commercial risk, and external risks. These are the identified risks here, like poor coordination among the drawings of different trades, lack of constructability analysis in design for complex installation, many others for technical. And another like management, inadequate planning and scheduling that misleads all stakeholders. Lack of high-rise experienced professional, specialists, managers on the projects, or commercial risk, delayed payment by the clients, underestimation of project cost in the contract, right? Unrealistic duration imposed by the clients. And external risk, while performing identify external risk in addition to all inputs from the questionnaire, let's say, I also analyzed 3 countries, PESTEL analysis in terms of political, economical, like social. The PESTEL analysis were performed to identify the risk, also scientifically and also with the right method, I believe. So as a result of that, one another 16 external risk identifier, like extreme weather conditions, winds, cold. Here we have monsoon impact that we have to foresee, we have to integrate in our schedule, we have to put the measures in the contracts, right? Restricted logistic areas, mainly the high rises are put in the center of the cities. It's extremely logistic, the difficult areas. It needs detailed phasing logistic plan on high inflation rate, currency fluctuation, how we can mitigate it in the contracts, how we can put fair and let's say professional risk allocation in the contracts. Then yes, risk rating as a result of probability and impact analysis done. For instance, the top 7 risks as a result of my research. It's a framework, let's say. It's a kind of guidance, let's say, which can give insight to the high-rise and the large-scale construction industry. Was first ranking, hiring unqualified professional subcontractors, contractors, which to build the high-rise, pure coordination, lack of cost control and cash flow management integrated into the program. There is an imposed schedule most of the time, but your cash flow is not integrated in there, which results in the failure and money runs the project, as well as the project management, of course. Extreme weather conditions, inadequate planning and scheduling that misleads all stakeholders, underestimation of the project cost in the contract, like closing it with the minimum cost, minimum, considerations, and then which might also result in the big issues throughout execution, and unrealistic durations imposed by the client or imposed by the investors and all. Okay, so there are of course risk responses developed, but just to give one example only. So risk was, for instance, one of the technical risks which were top ranked in my research was poor coordination among the drawings of different trades. So with the approach of the industrial experts who attended the survey, right, and also peer-reviewed researches against this risk, what are the risk found and risk response developed in other regions, in other high-rise projects, filtered, just briefly summaries here, it's more comprehensive, of course. On-site design consultant should be assigned to cover coordination work within all disciplines. The consultant should be available at the early stages of the project to ensure transmission of coordinate drawings to the site. Utilization of the BIM coordinated, for instance, this one we are implementing. We implemented before and we have been still implementing this to minimize the coordination issues throughout the project, particularly for the complex large-scale construction project. Ensure that all details are made available timely and ensure your milestones, design deliverables, review process, and everything is integrated in your schedule. Because sometimes the contract of consultant is saying review of the RFI and the read feedback, as an example, 2 weeks. In that particular activity, overall duration is 2 weeks. So to linking this sequence and all these details makes difference while managing the projects. So we have gone through it in these slides. As we I think overall understanding is there, in especially large-scale construction projects. You have stakeholder, most of the time multinational team members. These are in many regions. A lot of stakeholders are involving from the region itself and from outside of that region, like outsourced specialists are there. You are managing so many stakeholders. So it's extremely essential, like to put these stakeholders into the mechanism. For instance, we have investors, lenders, clients, contractors, consultants, subcontractors, specialists, third-party agencies, suppliers, authorities to deliver the project, to meet the authority requirement. A lot of things. So it is where the project management enters from the end. Yes, this mechanism of managing the stakeholders is possible with proper project management, with professional project management, involving all the stakeholders. Otherwise, whatever we see in here, it is gonna be a mess. It's a mess. So there's so many communications. So thousands of documents, thousands of pages of the contracts, thousands of materials, deliverables. Supply chain management itself is a very complex activity. So project management shall be implemented effectively throughout the large-scale construction project, in any project from my point of view. And to bring this mess here, unstructured stakeholders, unstructured like here, to bring with the project management to the mechanism that functions, that synchronize, that delivers the projects, achieve the objective within agreed parameters. Of course, project management, the leadership also is extremely essential part, right? So there are many leadership, like situational leadership, transformation leadership, so many leadership styles. By only reading it, it's giving you, of course, overall understanding, but curiosity, so cultural intelligence, collaboration, commitment, courage, cognizance, these traits of the leadership, and all your, how to summarize them here, like bringing all these documents, stakeholders, synchronizing them, managing the multicultural thousands of people to deliver the projects. It needs project management with an appropriate professional leadership approaches. And of course, as the mentioned here, this is the one I like. KPIs are important. I always, all companies are using the KPIs, key performance indicators, for document management, for submittals, for many, for almost all the procedures and progress at individual level and stakeholder level and different disciplines. But not only KPIs and instructions, right? It is all, then I'm fully against that one. So KPI should be also supported, and it should be described as keep people interested, keep people informed, keep people involved, keep people inspired. So in addition to the performance indicators, if we put these KPIs in the center of our project management as a core value of our organization, I believe it's going to add significant value, and it's going to be sustainable. So these are very important points. And managing the stakeholders, there are managing stakeholder matrix, importance of the stakeholder, impact of the stakeholder, with the roles and the responsibilities and all. So these are a lot of processes and management systems are there. But of course, so this responsibility, accountability, consultancy, and information, like a RACI chart, with the analyzing of the stakeholders, shall be put in the place to function this mechanism and deliver your projects. So, okay, let me check the time, please. So, okay, good. So, because I was given a time around 45 minutes to 60 minutes, I think this time I'm achieving. Normally, I'm not good at, especially while sharing, exchanging information and sharing knowledge. I can extend the duration, but I think we are almost there. Yes, so this is my last slide. Okay, so for today's webinar, I put some notes here. Of course, the tools technology, digital transformation is extremely essential, and it shall be in the core area. There's always continuous improvements, and we have to be working together with all the digital transformation. We have to put in the center of our organization. But so here, yeah, this maybe overall volume of the stakeholders and the people, let's say the population, maybe here is almost 0 point some percentages. But how we deliver the projects are here. And unfortunately, in here is a challenge. This is, yes, the clients, high-level educated people, specialists. So let's say I think this is a very essential theory, right? Maslow's hierarchy of the needs. This self-actualization or esteemed, right? The people, stakeholders, exactly. We have to be there. We have to be on the track. We have to put our focus. But my area of interest, the focus is also to balance still a lot of labors, maybe let's say from the image picked for this webinar is like fixing the reinforcement for 30 years long. They don't know why they are putting the rebar there. Just instructions, just put there, fix it, in 2 days finish it. You have to put 100 centimeter, let's say, lapping between the two rebars. But we are not training, I think. I think the focus is missing here, both from many stakeholders. But we cannot deliver. It's a challenge, and my focus area, my interest is taking this challenge and throughout my career, throughout my life in the construction and large-scale projects industry, with the companies also is our core values. How from here we can deliver to this part, which is the real guys fixing, doing, installing, and executing, right? We have to focus in this area. That is my point. That's why I raise my finger there. Really, I want to stress in here. The second is it's a very, very interesting and unfortunately the uppermost and the bottommost is there in the large-scale construction projects. So still in a 10-meter square shelters, 10, 15 laborers are lying on the ground. On the other hand, some people you are sitting with on the meeting in front of the table, they just take their private jets and flying from one country to another country. So the balance also, we have to really, if we are really willing to show the results, that is all the digital transformation, all the knowledge of individuals and everything to reflect on the construction side, to the project, to the end user, that is the thing we have to put a balance. So we have to bring the labor force. We have to bring our subcontractors. We have to bring the real execution guys on the field, fieldmen, fieldwomen, right? From this area. They shouldn't concern from their shelters. They should concern from where to sleep, how to wash and stuff. It should be going upper steps, at least love and belonging, maybe. It should be sense of connection. They shouldn't be concerning about this one. So that's why the sharing. So this is the challenge. Okay, so this is the things, especially industry leaders, like professionals like us, maybe the esteemed people, we will find information, right? All our companies, the core values is developing the team. So it's extremely essential in Phoenix. It's extremely essential in Turner. But we have to grow. We are growing with our stakeholders. So I have a subcontractor on the site. We have the people, laborers on the site. That's we have to focus. We are doing it, and we have to improve day by day. All the industry professionals in their industries. That is the challenge. We have to take it. We have to overcome this challenge. It is not an individual effort, but yeah, we have to put all our knowledge, experience, skills, which is the core of the project management and all these application processes, because without this one, we cannot achieve. So I put some notes here, just the sharing, which the principles, some keywords, just some principles and keywords as a last. So the sharing, so adding value to ourselves and to our working area. If it's the individual value, if we are not sharing with our team, if it's the resource, if we are doing our researches, studies, self-developments in the hidden rooms, hiding from our colleagues, I do not respect that personally, from my point of view only. So we have to really distribute this knowledge. We have to share our vision. We have to exchange information. We have to learn from each other. We have to give this to the fields, people, laborers, and all. We are in one boat. We are one. So we have to leadership also. We have to not. We shouldn't just speaking about it. We should walk the talk, right? For instance, it's a core principle I encourage in my life. If it's a snowing or it's a monsoon, if I'm asking my team to do the overtime and working on site, I do not instruct or I do not even say it from my office. I always, with my team, with my management team, be on site with them, drink tea together, and show them yes. If they are working 2 hours, I stay 1 more hour to say that, look, yes, our manager, or let's say whatever the role is, he's with us. So we are together. So we are working together. So walking the talk is extremely essential. Do not copy paste. It's killing all industries. So specifications are copy paste. Execution plans are copy paste. So we really, let's spend some time on understanding, right? Analyzing and tailoring this to these frameworks, standard set of contracts, FIDIC, NEC3, the Indian standards. It doesn't matter. It's a great framework. We have a lot of tools. We have a lot of documents, but we have to understand, analyze, and tailor it to our specific needs. My team in our companies, we are spending significant time, day and night, to get it done, right? PDCA circle, and efforts, not excuse. Proactive approach, not defensive. Knowledge, experience, communication, ethical behaviors, it shall be in the center. There should be some, like all the companies, like we are having minimum 2-3 times a year, these ethical trainings, the course, reminders. It's a center of, it's a core of any organization. It should be in the core of any organization. Foster a culture of trust, respect, and continuous learning. Soft skills are as much important as hard skills. You might have an extreme knowledge of the softwares. You might have an extreme technical person in your fields. If you are not sending to your receiver, right? In the communication, there's a sender and a receiver, right? Coding and decoding. It doesn't go there. If your communication skill, if your behavior, if your attitude is not fitting in there, it's extremely difficult to have a fair chance of taking the leader log and managing the teams. So behaviors, attitude, we manage. Invest in people and grow with your stakeholders. It's extremely essential. If it only starts in the client side, in the consultant side, in the esteemed area, if it doesn't go to the least developed or minimum mid to small scale organization, we cannot grow, or at least we cannot successfully manage all the process from the start point throughout the execution. So standardization, we really spent significant time. We spent earlier in the projects and now also with the team. Standardization, process-driven system, all these tools, all the techniques and the knowledge we use to really make the project sustainable. It should be process-driven. So standard system, it shouldn't be individual. For instance, we are talking an RFI, request for information. Do not just instruct, please send an RFI to the team. Does he have the standard format? Has he trained? Otherwise, every individual in your team put different images, different terminologies, different phrasing. So please pay attention on that one, and it's extremely essential for me. This is only my personal notes I want to share throughout the presentation. Understand root cause prior to developing action plan and record lessons learned. We are not understanding the root cause in many of the industries and I think the organization. For instance, there's a fire, just get there and extinguish the fire. So the one person had the injury. Please just get there, start your inspection report. But we should ask like why, like 5 whys rule, right? Why it's happened. Okay, so because of that. So why it's happened. So we have to identify the root cause, and finding the root cause is almost solving the problem. So we have to analyze and record these lessons learned. So investing in people and growing, we mentioned. So challenges comes with lots of opportunities and learnings. Exactly. It might be a huge claim, for instance, for construction projects. So I was just telling my team, have you ever managed a claim, responded to claim? No, all right. So we will do our work fair and professional, but take it as an opportunity. It is an experience for you. It is an opportunity for you to experience how to respond to a claim. So any challenges, it can be extremely difficult conditions. I come like step by step in my career. I lived in the construction side more than 2-3 years in the containers. So it was a very valuable moment of my life. So we have to understand its importance, So team building, motivational program, safety, health, environment, quality are core values, not options for any corporate. It doesn't matter if it's small or the big, but yeah, the big corporates, the developers, the clients should, of course, be supporting also small organization with the budget allocation of the safety, team organization, staff arrangement for the quality and all, but it's a core values for us, for our companies. Discover yourself and the team. Discovering yourself is extremely essential and important point. It's my, from my point of view. Then enjoy your work and being a part of the team. Now I'm in India. It's amazing. I have many colleagues from different backgrounds, different places. Before I was in another region. So enjoy just, it is a, if you take as a coming to work with a lack of motivation. So being a part of a team. So focusing on the common objectives, it's an extreme fun. It's an extreme motivation. So let's put it in our daily life, please, if you can do, but it's my high motivation. Another philosophy I stress it in all my projects: keep politics and egos away from your projects. It is killing all the projects. Work hard and follow the right truth, right? It's not that complex, it's simple. So like Mahatma Gandhi, like, or let me give my example, Mustafa Kemal Atatürk from my country. So we are the follower of truths. It's always make me emotional, but it's, yes, it shall be center of our operations. Give back and be volunteer for a better world. It's extremely important who invest in us, who put any value to our professional life or individual developments. It's and other some keywords you see everywhere, every post in the LinkedIn, and of course, just as a note here, lean management, agile management, PMI is very active, doing a lot of session for it, and a lot of other organizations, corporates working on it. Modular and fast construction, from projects to the products. So sustainability, yeah, it's a core again for all our operations. Smart approach, you can put specific, measurable, right, realistic, everything, the time based. It's a good things I always keep in my note and try to make every process with smart approach. And of course, green buildings, environmental friendly projects. We have to contribute with our experts, with our knowledge to the place where we are living, to our world. It's top priority for our also organization and all the networks in the team. And as we have briefed, overall digitalization, the fact technology, we have to take all advantage of it. We have to be tracking what's happening in the world globally in our industries, regardless of it's a construction or IT or medical and other. So we have to be there, but we have to spend, I believe, at least the same time we spend on following with the individual growth or maybe high level growth, how to grow up with our stakeholders, subcontractors, field laborers. That is the area also where needs significant area of improvements from my experience last 10 plus years in global projects. So I really thank you. So it was an amazing moment and unforgettable memory for me. I really enjoyed so talking each and every minute. And I really appreciate all attendees to putting their weekend, their valuable time for listening to me. And I especially thank PMI for giving me this opportunity and giving this webinar unforgettable to the end of my life. So thank you very much. I really appreciate. I'm grateful.
All right, that's really great indeed. Wonderful insight about the construction industry that's going on. We would now to take some questions that I see there are one question that's been asked by Bala Ravindranath. Thanks so much, Shivala, for putting the first question here. I'm so excited to see the tools used, and they are much different from what we use in software. Here is my question. The progress shown in the video was it purely based on the data points provided as an input or based on some real-time progress measured through some other mechanism? Because the construction is tangible one, unlike software projects. So he is asking about whether the data points on the videos or the construction progress that you have shown is based on any data or it's based on a real pictures that you are capturing.
So this presentation, just for the confidentiality, of course, of the projects, it is customized to give the insight, but everything is a real project. Effectively, for the last few years, I've been using these tools. It is, if you know how to use the tools, technology, tailor it to your project needs. It is not difficult. For instance, if to respond to a specific question, we are getting the normal extract from your Primavera as an example, project scheduling tool, showing the activities, right? Actual start, actual finish, project percentages. You can extract to, for instance, Excel, which everybody is using. When you circulate it to your construction teams and subcontractors, who is on site, who has to update and submit it back to you, you get the data, actual start, actual finish, and progress percentages verified by my team, for instance. When it goes to planning departments, when you integrate this in the Primavera, what you are having is the baseline comparison with the actual. And the Primavera data, there are also specific the tools and education. If they are interested, they can visit me. I can give much more information about it. So when you integrate and analyze in your scheduling tools, you are having exactly whatever performing in the normal scheduling based on the site data. You are getting a complete schedule analysis, as I showed you. So the response to his question, it is extremely possible. For instance, I tried to get the daily update, right? It didn't function. As you said, it is not the tool, the data is not like exactly the, you are working in front of your computers. So, but the weekly and the bi-weekly, it gave us a lot of valuable data, and we could perfectly analyze the schedule, even the resource loaded schedule with the man days, man hours, and also with the cost loaded schedule, we could do all the what if analysis and forecast analysis. So it was from the real projects, and we are effectively using now in my organization, in my projects. We are working on our ongoing projects, integration of the software tools, getting the data, simple data from the site, putting in our software tools, integrated with the Power BI and analyzing it. And you can perform all forecast, critical path analysis and everything. So it is real. Just you need to know the tricks and how you can adapt it based on your capability with your team structure, how you can align your organization, how you can collect the data from the site, how you can integrate the data from different softwares and analyze it. And we are effectively using it in the construction projects. It's real.
Wonderful. Okay. There's another question. ASCE suggested 4D time-lapse modeling before construction, like the example you mentioned. When can we expect this happen in India?
So it's happening. It's happening in India in large-scale projects. We are using these tools, and there are a lot of advanced companies, a lot of how we call advanced construction companies and the projects happening in India. Also in our projects, like in the Phoenix, in Turner, we are effectively using all these things, what's presented here. It is really in the center of our organization, and we are developing every day. Tomorrow, our aim is to better than today all the time. So ASCE rate, but I understand his question. It's not that common. It's not maybe that much, effectively being used still. And there are a lot of areas of improvement, as you said. But before the execution, to have it, to visualize your construction, engage all your stakeholders with the fields and all, and to, as an expert, with an expert view, managing the requirements, managing the interfaces, the details. And we were putting, for instance, taking from the 4D simulation, we used to do like 6 months look ahead schedules, like maybe 2 months look ahead, just to manage day-to-day operations. So when we have these kind of skills, the knowledge, and effectively use with our team and the stakeholders, then it is extreme value. It really leads to results in construction projects.
Okay.
Because, simply rather than looking at thousands of drawings, hundreds of the documents and method statements, simply looking at one video, 3D modeling, going to there, visiting the site before you execute, it's amazing.
All right. That is another question from Abdul Sharif. How these curves calculating in Power BI and thresholds effective in Power BI?
Look, I think it is so much, again, as I try to stress out, let me tell one thing, the tools, the data is there. Anything you are doing in your daily life in Excel. Just let me give a broad and I think in-depth example. So it is an integration tool that you are putting your data, even maybe daily operational Excel logs, Excel analysis, which every company, I think, even our attendees who's asking the question are using. You are standardizing and structuring in a way that it can be put into dashboards and the visualization. So just tools, please, let's look at it in a very simple. I say construction or the projects are the simple. We have to simplify it. So when you understand the logic of any tool, how they take the data, and if you know your work requirement as a specialist in any fields, so it is a skill and it's a very simple to use any standard day-to-day operational data by some standardization with some expertise and integrates in the Power BI. It just it's enabling us to interpret. So yes, you need to have some skill and knowledge, of course, but it's not that difficult. With our planning manager, in a couple of weeks' time, we have developed maybe 20 integrated project management fields, dashboards in our ongoing project. So I think that is responding to his question, I believe. But any specific further information, we and my team, of course, we are very happy to provide.
Okay. There are some people who are leaving. I just wanted to share a couple of slides and we'll come back to the questions, Ganesh. Is that fine?
Of course, of course.
Yes, yes. All right, guys. So this is a link that you can share your feedback. Take out your phones, scan the QR code, wherein this will redirect you to the LinkedIn post that we have talked about this session, where you can ask any questions or you can send or share your feedback through that LinkedIn post. So I hope you all get connected with the Ganesh and then get some questions of yours answered there. In case we are based on time, if we are not able to answer, I'm sure Ganesh will be able to take up the questions and give the response through LinkedIn.
Of course, it is. I'm really pleased, and any even specific information, any specific connection, even a call, meeting in India and all, I'm extremely happy. My team, because we in our organizations, in the place where I work in, the sharing, exchanging, it's like the candle. It doesn't get it fires and the flames while lighting other candles, right? So we don't lose anything. It's just contribute us individually. It contributes our organization to deliver the project. So I'm extremely happy with my team to provide any support to any individual and any other corporates and other stakeholders. Maybe they will be our stakeholders in the future.
All right, that's great. Correct. Yes. So I'm still sharing the same screen along with the QR code. Please scan through it and share your questions or feedback through that post. We really wanted to hear you all through that post or your information, what you are looking for. That helps us to give more and more sessions to you all, guys. Please share your information through this post, and I'm sure that we will answer your questions through LinkedIn. And coming to the PDUs, this session will give you 1 hour of PDU under the Power Skills criteria. It will be auto-credited for all the PMI valid credential holders. Okay, so we'll go back to the questions. Ganesh, there was one more question that's been asked. Is costing also monitored?
Even yes, the cost monitoring, it depends on organization structure actually, how the department's organization metrics. So the cost shall be monitored. We have the cost, the forecast plans, and even cost loaded schedules, and continuous monitoring on the cost according to our pre-estimates, and also actuals is coming up there. And we have to foresee the issues. Are we overrunning the budget, or are we within the budget, or we are really achieving our operation just under our budgets, right? So there are a lot of tools. Some companies even we have customized, the ERPs, a lot of tools, and a lot of integration with our even scheduling tools can integrate with the cost management in construction, for instance. We have done all our forecast analysis throughout the execution. The cost inputs were in the schedule. because every work packages has a cost. We have tender estimates over there. We have the budget allocation to each disciplines, right? So extremely essential parts, because eventually all investors, all the clients, right, even all expectation from us as a management team and from to deliver our projects within the budget. But as I say, it's not, I never give some kind of response like that is the tool and put it there. Please analyze your organization metrics. How are the departments in your organization? What are the capabilities in your organization? Deliverables and project objective. Based on that one, there are tons of the tools that you can simplify and simply monitor your cost forecast. You can do your what if analysis. You can do your schedule and the budget forecast. That yes, it is one of the very important part. Of course.
Yeah, there's a question related to sharing the Power BI template. I'm not sure whether we can share that or not, but there was
that one which our team we really just specifically customized for this webinar. So we haven't used any confidential information, any real names, let's say the activities and all. So I think I can confidently say that yes, it is my pleasure. We are happy to share. No problem.
All right, that has landed one more question. While allocating the risk ranking, what plays the key role? Is it scheduling loss or is scheduling cost?
No, actually, what I've done in my research, I said that if our friend, let's say, asking the question, analyze the risk analysis methods, qualitative and the quantitative methods. There are different, like Monte Carlo analysis, probability metrics in the qualitative methods. There are different quantitative methods with softwares. Even in scheduling softwares, we can do risk analysis. Okay, there are many. But in my research, what I've done is towards simplicity and getting the better data rather than doing a case study and having a lot of that, because I was working day and night. To be honest, I completed weekends with sacrificing from my family and the social time. So probability times impact on cost with the qualitative approach, probability impact metrics, was ranking 1. Probability times impacts on schedule was ranking 2. So these ratings were not the same. So in my research, I have analyzed the impact on the cost and impact on schedule differently. So risk rating, as an example, the risk of delayed payment from the client maybe was rank 1 in the impact of the cost, but in the schedule, maybe it wasn't in the top 5. So it's a live process. Even the risk rating throughout the project changes. So it must be monitored, because this month risks, when you put also risk responses, mitigation, or let's say action plans on the place, in the next month, maybe it's not even in your agenda, right? You have any risk coming up. So it's a kind of continuous process, and there are various tools and analysis methods. But I use this method, probability impact, and separately for the cost and schedule.
All right. Okay. How can we measure the safe execution percentage against planned execution percentage in construction project?
So it is planned versus actual, correct?
It's a safe execution percentage versus schedule percentage.
Yeah, I think planned versus actual percentages. It's you have a baseline plans, right? It might be also revised, but it should be officially recognized by the client and the team representative to be using as a revised baseline, because a contractual document. Let's say you have a baseline schedule plans. What you shall do is in your schedule, you have the complete schedule from initiation of the projects to through the completion of the project, including testing and commissioning, snagging and snagging and handing over. So consists of all the work breakdown structure and activities segregated to each level, disciplines, depends on your, of course, work breakdown structure and the project requirements, right? So what you have to do, you have to get the updates from the site, from your planning team, if you have, or construction manager if you don't have, if you are small size organization, which is you have the BOQs. Let's say I have in level 2, the room of the washroom, I have 10 square meter of the block work. I've completed 6 square meter of the block work as an example. I've done this activity specific to the activity itself at that particular level. I know actual person complete, which is verified by my construction team, correct? The work inspection report, your quality here, or other regions, RFIT's request for inspections is signed off, verified, the actual works. Then this data continuously, regularly, throughout the project shall come back to the office. It should be put to data in your schedules. So you have the already baselines and you have the actual data is there. You can compare planned versus actual for each and every activity because you are extracting the actual data you need from the site, from your schedule, from that level, from that particular activity. And then based on your productivity, even you can forecast. If I do these delays, as an example, you plan for 5 square meters square and you have just getting continuously 1. And you can analyze that, where are you heading up if you don't take an action, if you don't increase the productivity. So it is a kind of this, it's a center of our project management. So we have to analyze the productivities, actual progress movement on the site, and we have to foresee where we are heading to before we are facing extreme delays. And there are activities has a float which you can compensate. It means that the activity delay will not affect your overall schedule, but especially in the management level, we have to look at the critical path. What are the activities if delays? It consumes your total float or the free float in your schedule. So based on that one, we have to put all the actions, all the efforts with all our team members to prevent it, if possible, avoid it.
All right, wonderful. Okay, which cost control technique is best to optimize stakeholders in bulk constructions?
So it's again, it's not like A and B. We have specific, the tools using in the organization. If you want in the private discussion, I can also tell this. But the best is that one. It depends. For instance, for me in my role for my organization, the best for him might be different. As I always stress out, that's why I always say, this is the tool. You just take it and implement, right? In terms of the method, I always see the controlling and monitoring measures, whatever the tools we are using for, with my cost consultant team, with our, let's say, the execution team. We are centrally monitoring every month, everything. We are just verifying the works done on the site. We are checking the cost variance regularly in our projects, right? Variance the cost, not only the actual percentage progress movement. So where are we in the plans and where are we in the actuals? So based on that, with all finance department, with all commercial procurement department doing brainstorming, saying that, look, how we can prevent this. So how we can align this, our cost variation to our project's limitations and avoidance. So these stakeholder, the departments of the organization has to work together holistically. So it's the appropriate, depends on your project specific requirements and the volume, right? To monitor the cost throughout the projects and do the forecast analysis. For instance, one of the project I performed the cost loaded schedule. The schedule was showing that where I am heading with the cost and what is my cost budget variance now. So in this tool, just to give him a specific example, we have loaded with our quantity surveyor, let's say cost consultants, data completely into the work breakdown structure and activities. And we could have measured with the progress percentage movements, where are we at the moment and where we are heading to. So even in a simple scheduling program, I'm talking for the construction, for instance, projects. So you can perform these analyses in many different tools with so many methods.
Wow. Okay. The next question I have is, how do we measure project progress? By cost or schedule or by earned value?
Let's say these are not like separate, all I say, because as you know, in the earned value management, right, we have the schedule performance index and the cost performance index. We have SVA like schedule variances, we have the cost variances. It's not like separated. I'm just measuring the cost. No, all knowledge areas like schedule management, we say the schedule, it's a main parameter to deliver our projects for large scale construction, but it's the utmost importance, of course, the schedule, plus the cost, of course, because you have investor, you have limited budget, it's not going to forever. So earned value management is a very good and effective method. It is a industry-wise recognized method, and it consists of all. So it's not like earned value for the schedule and earned value for the cost. If he checks the extent, the content, if we can also discuss details in the later stages, maybe. So we have to check, yes, schedule performance index, cost performance index, schedule variance, the cost variance, and then we can do a lot of, the budget to complete and other analysis, which consist of all. So it's integrated. We cannot separate.
Okay, great. Thanks.
Both are important, extremely essential for
Yes.
project.
Yeah, it's all three are important to measure the progress. Yeah, there's one more point here. PMI suggests focus on objectives instead of milestones, but people at the workplace always focus on milestones. How to change the perspective in our industry?
Look, actually, when my approach, let's say, of course, these are my individual responses. So it is not like black and white, right? It is not like start and finish. These are actually the integrated. So the milestones are essential, of course, because without having the milestones, going to completing your journey is very difficult. So you are having most of the large scale projects is more than 2-3 years. So you have then objectives, right? Depends on the client's expectation, depends on your contracts. So your focus area, but in almost all the project, the schedule. So cost, quality, sustainability. So a lot of different objectives might come up to deliver. But milestones are also is a part of this one, because just without having the milestones to plan and just to seeing the objectives also is not that much realistic, maybe practically possible. So I do not separate them. The milestones I also, for instance, in my older projects we are managing, is of course we have the milestones to achieve. And it is also is extremely essential because it gives the confidence, it gives a milestone for it. So without achieving that milestone also, there are sometimes hard logic. You cannot go to other. So it means that you cannot even achieve your objectives. As an example, if the fire NOC, I'm saying in here in our projects, if we do not get it right, it's a milestone, we cannot put the tenant inside. It's the objective, maybe delivery of the high level quality product to end user. So this is a milestone which will take us to the objectives. So that is my approach, how I am putting and aligning this process.
Right.
Approach.
Okay, so one person is asking, can you please provide approximate cost for a project to implement Power BI model, which can be included in project budget? Is it per SFT basis or any other?
As I said, every project, the cost, let me respond again in a technical manner. So what does your cost management plan requires in the project, right? So in your contracts, so what are the parameters you measure your costs? It shall be normally recorded in your cost management plan. Depends on the project specific parameters also. The framework you have to follow, the methods you have to implement, it shall be in the cost management plan. So the response is, it is not like, okay, that is the method. You have to first, if you do not have it, you have to put an initiative. Many of the things also we have taken initiative. Let's say it might not be in your country, but even in the companies. I worked also in a subcontractor, small scale company in a big, large project, but I'm coming from a subcontractor background. Okay, so when I said I lived in the construction site and with 600 plus people, we were managing all the civil works in one of the airport projects in Saudi Arabia. I was subcontractor there. All this project was very valuable, respectful organization, but all this process is what I'm talking now, even maybe I didn't know that time. But the more we learned, right, we have to implement, and we are the ones to make difference. I always tell my team, I think if they are here also, they can say it. I said, look, please bring your best to the project, right? Don't be in your comfort. Okay, this is the report. It's enough for my management. I have personally never done it. I always challenge to rise the bar. So if you do not have a cost management plan in your company, do not say, oh, I do not have a cost management plan. In my company, I do not have it. No, you are the one. I'm not saying, of course, so this audience is a very valuable question. I'm saying in general, we are the one. Yes, we can. We are in the corporates. We can bring our best knowledge. We can set the standardization. This was always my approach. So let's say the cost management plan accordingly, all the analyze and everything, we can just perform.
Right. Hey, Ramana, I'm trying to unmute you. For some reason, it's not working. Can you post your question in chat window? Sorry, I apologize for that, but it's some issue with my WebEx. All right. Okay. The next question is baseline schedules of a project will affect by raising more RFIs.
Of course, and let me say in this way. So baseline schedule might be affected by all the other interactive department, might be affected by the procurement, supply chain, like deliverables, design deliverables, procurement deliverables, and everything might affect the baseline. So it means to run through the baseline, we have to use the best project management techniques with the team, with the team development, right? To integrate everything in our baseline. So it will be proper schedule, identified activities, key deliverables like design, procurement, materials, execution, and all, right? So RFI, it depends on the volume of RFI. For instance, the RFI might be a request for information for one of your activities which have 200 days of float, which means it is not in the critical path. So if your RFIs get responded in 10 days, you do not have any issue. And of course, you have to look one impact on the overall schedule and another impact on the successor activities. If you have two areas in both in your total float and the free float, like extensive days, and if RFI response is there, it is perfectly fine. So that's why activity specific, that RFI, of course, the timelines and everything should be carefully analyzed. But as you said, in many projects, there are hundreds, thousands of sometimes RFIs. If there is so many ambiguities, there are so many miscoordination in your drawings, in your specification, discrepancy between the spec to the BOQ to drawings and all. It is, of course, yes. So many activities is affected by the volume of the RFIs. RFI circulation from the consultant to the client to the subcontractors. If everybody not sticking on the timeline, it is, yes, it might highly affect your schedule. But that's why we use these integrated project management techniques. In RFI, every RFI process flow is being monitored. It comes from contractor to the consultant, and we are putting a required time as per schedule. Some RFIs, I'm saying consultants, no problem, 2 weeks, take your time, please respond with my team. Some RFI, we are saying it's extremely crucial, you have to respond in 4 days. It happens or not, but that is the approach. That is the management we have to put in. So every RFI, even while rising, based on the baseline overall schedule, shall have the response date, and every stakeholder must stick on that date. That must take the ownership. So throughout the process flow of RFI also, we shall track each and every process with the action owners. Will at least minimize, avoid negative impact of the RFI's delays to the schedule.
All right. Okay, in the interest of time, we'll take up the other next enough questions through our chat window. Sorry, through our LinkedIn post. Please post your questions there, and we'll try to address and give the answers to you all. All right.
Yes.
So with that, we're end to the session. Great informative session. Thank you so much, Ganesh, again for your wonderful and active insights about the present about the construction of large projects, or the different kind of perspectives and practical scenario that you have shown on the Power BI. As expected, we are getting as we discussed, there are a lot of questions on Power BI. So I know we in a short time we could not able to show the details of Power BI or some additional information about Power BI. I'm sure people might be reaching you for information on the Power BI, how to use the BMI or BIMs and all.
Of course. We myself
great.
with my team, it's an all effort also. I have a lot of excellent team members and all. So we will do our best to respond and really share or exchange our information and share our knowledge. So as you said, the time is limited. Actually, each topic sometimes for only for RFI. Sometimes I was telling also my colleagues, like, we are having 3 hours meeting. So to explain in 1.5 hour effective project management for large scale projects is extremely impossible. I tried really maximizing the showcase the different scenarios, simulations, tools, and techniques for delivering the projects and managing the all team members, right?
Appreciate all the efforts that you have taken to show and give the detailed information. As I told you in the initial, no, in starting of a presentation, this is a much weighted informative session from the different domain than IT domain, the construction domain. So I believe most of our joiners today might have got a lot of information about the industry and the risks that we are facing on the way that the things are getting handled, visualized, all those particular informations. It's great, indeed, great information that all the chapter members received. I would like to thank all my board members. Vinay, who is one of the board members, they're still in our call. Couple of other board members joined, but for some reasons, no, the timing and all, they have left in between. Thank you so much for all the support, the communications team who helped us to reach the information to all the members. And I believe Ganesh has sent the link for multiple people. A lot of registrations happen. Whatever the reason, some people could not able to join the session, but we'll post this recording in our YouTube channel, and people can enjoy through watching in the YouTube. And once again, thank you so much. Your PDUs will be credited automatically to all the PMI members, valid credential holders, and rest of the people who are not PMI holders. Thank you so much for joining, and thanks for taking your time and enjoying the session. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate for this opportunity.